What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the abusing Isis action, spawning in the left side of the map, playing as Isis. His name is Killuminati. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Kimo. This is a completely unrelated question, but I want to answer it because I can, and I'm here, and there's nothing else to do. We've got Bishox in the chat asking, what do I think of the Chronos 3-minute advance? I think that the Chronos 3-minute advance is a very, very fun strategy. There are some very, very simple counters to said strategy. For example, Prometheans will not want to walk in to this area and hit you. You can bring, if you see a 3-minute advance, you can bring all your villagers back in underneath your town center and start getting goats. Eating goats, chopping straggler tree, leave your gold mine. You don't need gold at that stage anyways. Build some dudes out, get your heroes or whatever if you're playing Greek, etc, etc. It's completely different in this matchup because right now Kimo's playing against Killuminati, who is going for a very, very fast Flood of the Nile upgrade. You know, it's funny. This fast Flood of the Nile upgrade is actually a strat that goes all the way back to like 2007. A guy named Hail to the Cobra literally came up with this build, and it's very, very similar to this. Like super, incredibly similar. In fact, he found out that all he needed was 3 goats and a good, I think it was 3 goats, the chickens that you start with. This is on the Titans. 3 goats, the chickens you start with, and whatever zebra you can get. And he was able to get himself like a 7-minute heroic age, or 7-minute 15-second, 7-minute 30 heroic age, one town center with that small amount of food. I can't remember exactly how he managed to do it, but this is the build basically, and it's wild to see it kind of resurface in Retold to me. But super awesome that this kind of stuff is obviously really good here. And I guess the big reason why it's kind of resurfaced is because, well, 1, Flood of the Nile is even better now. 2, chickens, berries, goats, all abundant in your base, are even better to be getting gathered from. And husbandry, there's no hunting dogs, so it also boosts this strategy. And hunting dogs, husbandry going to be boosting those chickens and all the other good stuff. So lots and lots of fun here for Killuminati. And there's also a whole bunch of extra added power given to Isis in Thoth that wasn't actually there before. So there's also some extra sort of things you can try out to boot here. Anyways, let's talk about what Kimo's doing, because we've just been yapping about Killuminati's play at the start of this game. As we see villagers moving up to the top town center, and Killuminati is going to notice this immediately. Though because he's advanced so late, he's not going to be able to do anything about it. That's totally fine here for Kimo. As goats getting stolen away here as well. Nice find here for Killuminati. He does have to move those as he does manage to do so. Can he steal this one as well? Yes, he can. That's so big. That's so many goats here for Killuminati. But the big thing here, and the reason why on a map like Giza, a second town center is really good most of the time, is because you get rhinos guaranteed on top of every single second town center expansion. Now, you might get 1, you might get 2, depends on which one it is. But yeah, this is a lot of fun here. Anyways, we'll see how things are going to go. The big advantage right now for Kimo is that he's got ceasefire. So any sort of Ancestors Eclipse on the economy, it's really not going to do any damage. Your opponent clicks it, you click ceasefire. Sure, you get like 20 seconds or something, 15 seconds, I don't know, of damage, and that's it. Great micro here from Kimo as well. He's got to turn that special ability off here, otherwise he's not going to be able to continue doing it. But he will be pulling back into his main base and getting himself out. His hero, Atlanta, very, very quickly, I'm sure. Is it coming through? I don't see it. He does have the favor. He doesn't have the gold just yet. But you have to be really careful with the Sphinx when playing against Poseidon, because that Atlanta is so obscenely quick. Sphinx has only got 5.3 speed. Atlantis got 5.9 speed. And that's a really, really big deal. As the Sphinx going to be roaming over into the corner of the map. And there is a big prosperity coming through now for Illuminati. He's got himself 1,000 food already. Oh, mining camp coming down on that position for both of these positions, so he gets a little bit more gold. This is a bit of an interesting decision. He wants that efficiency, but in doing that, he lost out on a lot of time there. A couple of villagers need to probably leave the gold mine and pop over onto the goats here as well. Unfortunately, they don't come up as idle for you, though, so you have to be paying attention on that one. But nice play nonetheless here. Nephthys is on the way. And there's going to be a lot of room for Migdols and any sort of extra pressure happening. He's also got a bunch of relic monkeys out as well as Chemo. He has taken his time. 7 minutes into the game, he throws up these stables in a nice defensive spot, blocking off any sort of attacking path through here. I'd love to see a wall get thrown up on this spot here as well. Potentially also throw a wall up over here just to restrict access to your base. Limit the amount of angles your opponent can rush in for and say thank you very much to all of that. The big question is, where to next for Illuminati? Is he going to go for a Mythic Age? Is he going to go for... is he going to stay in his base? Is he going to put a Migdol out on the second gold mine? Is he going to take risks? Or is he going to play it really, really hyper safe here? So we do see even more relics coming in. The Black Lotus, I love this relic, plus 10% on farms. It's not a huge amount, but just that extra little bit on your farms, once you get to flood control, you just really live in the dream. Plus, you can get a whole bunch of other stuff, as we do see Ancestors Eclipse getting shot down into the main base. There is 50 seconds of this, but Chemo, he doesn't click ceasefire. He just hits the town bell. I mean, this is another way to play this. You can save that ceasefire for another position as we see watchtowers coming through. Theseus is in position here to chase these Deuterinos around as the minions will be leaving that main base here. As the villagers yet again getting pulled back. I mean, right now you can pop all your villagers back and click ceasefire if you want. Nope, no ceasefire. He's just going to be defending. I mean, this is another advantage here for Poseidon over Hades and Zeus, is that the speedy Atlanta can come around and chase these bad boys around, and they can't escape that far. They've only got 6 speed. Farms get... Okay, that's pretty cheeky. Kill off the farms, but these minions will go down. Villagers back to work in the main base here. Those minions here are going to get taken down as well. And did that really get damage done or not is the big question. I think the answer is it kind of did. Now, with the Migdol Stronghold coming up and a lot of resources in the bank here for Illuminati, he can go to the Mythic Age. And this fast Mythic has been nerfed quite severely, in all honesty. It's gone from 90 seconds to get to the Mythic Age up to, what is it? Up to 2 minutes. 120 seconds. So, Illuminati now, he's got a long, long wait before anything happens here. The other thing is, he's got no gold anymore. He's not even moving out onto a second gold mine. So this is playing incredibly safe here. And on the other side of the map here, we see an armory coming down. We see ads of wet, and hand axe coming through as well there for Illuminati. But armory coming down, and Chemo wants to go to the heroic age. Why? Because he needs Prodromus here. The big counter to War Elephant, Camel Rider, and Chariot Archer is Prodromus. If you can get out a mass of them. Just a couple of them isn't going to do all too well, but a whole swath of these units, you can easily take your opponent out and enjoy, as we do see a huge amount of walls coming up around this position here. Illuminati can sell some food if he really wants to throw up another Migdol Stronghold to protect this gold mine up on this position, but he's probably feeling like he doesn't really need to here. He can just get walls, and he's going to be okay. But Chemo, he's going to push across the map. We see some archery rangers coming down as well to be a little bit safe. A couple more stables coming down in the middle here. And we also see Aphrodite coming through. So this is going to give him a little bit of assistance here. But Scorpion Man sneaking through. Chemo, he's already in. I love this. He's like, okay, this is the only entrance into my base. Scorpion Man gets sent packing. Does a little bit of a juke around. But Atlanta is going to be on the way as well, right? Where is that? Atlanta here. Over here. So Atlanta's a little bit far away, but we'll be able to come over here as Thoth is just about to come through. And with Thoth is going to come Valley of the Kings. You can see that Illuminati's already got himself 86 favor in the bank. Valley of the Kings is going to come through. And the Thoth comes in. Meteor into this hometown center is going to get a lot of villager kills to come in, as Chemo going to be garrisoning all of his villagers, wanting to keep them alive. But you do have to be careful with this, as the villagers pop out. The Meteor may attack it. And look at the Meteor here. It's actually, this is, oh, he does get a couple of villager hits here, and he gets a lot of kills on that Meteor. But Chemo, he's still in front on villager count. As we see Valley of the Kings queued up, we've got Levy Migdol soldiers coming through as well. This build order here, or this strategy for Illuminati, very, very strong. And the Pharaoh in the main base as well, with Valley of the Kings going to come through. This is going to be huge. Conscript Migdol soldiers coming through as well for the ultimate amount of value to push forward. And he can go for camel riders, you can go for chariot archers, you can go for war elephants, whatever he wants at the moment he can do, as the Phoenix going to be flying through here in an attempt to slow down this town center. But it is too little too late at the moment, as the town center does end up going up. Villagers garrisoning in, and Phoenix has to be pushed back. Chemo says, you know what? You got some damage, but it's not that big of a deal. He's got a whole bunch of these militia as well. And I do think it's really important to just be ready to make yourself some sort of hoplites here as well, or Hippaspis, just in case spearmen come through. But whole bunch of those prodromus, Lord of Horses, even Spirited Charge wouldn't go astray right now for Chemo. Does he also have upgrades as well? It looks like he doesn't. No upgrades on the Hippias there, so get some Pierce upgrades, get some mail upgrades as well. And we're seeing at the moment, Illuminati, he's going to be making those chariot archers, and they train incredibly quickly here as you get 2 out at once. So what is it? 5 seconds? Every 5 seconds they're coming out. Every 5 seconds he gets 2 chariot archers for incredibly cheap. You get a huge amount of resources for this, but it's around about, I would say, 1,200-ish. 1,200-ish resources per minute by empowering this Migdol stronghold. It's about 1,400 resources flat or something, but your Pharaoh is losing out on empowerment that he could have been getting onto a gold mine, which has got something like 20 villages on it, and you get around 240-ish on that. So I call it about 1,200 resources, which is 20 villages, which, guess who's got 20 villager lead at the moment? Chemo. So right now, the actual economic difference here is effectively equal, as that Phoenix is flying around getting some good value here. Where is the Atlanta coming through? And she will be able to shoot her bow. Nope, she throws her spear. I love that. That's so cool. Why not throw a spear? And the Phoenix is going to be getting removed from this game. Smack, one more attack. Down. And that Phoenix egg is going to go down as well. But already champion chariots through now for Illuminati. He might want to consider, as we're starting to see a whole bunch of those Peltas coming through, a different unit at the moment than just mass chariot archers, as Curse gets dropped down. Another Phoenix is going to be coming into the fray here, as Chemo says, time to attack. Nope. No, he doesn't. He runs away. No worries. There's no real reason here for Chemo to actually take a fight. He's on 2 town centers. Sit back. Boom. Get the position defended. As we see over here, the Phoenix is getting some value. Did he pick up all those villages? Oh, he did. I don't know how many villages he got. I'm sorry I missed that one. But he did get a lot of villager kills. These Phoenix raids are brutal. Absolutely brutal. As the Phoenix going to be popping through here. We do have the Peltast now in, though, as Atlanta does get taken out, which will allow that Phoenix free reign onto the Peltast here. And look at that damage that the Phoenix does. It's actually kind of crazy good. A couple of more Peltas falling as Chemo is just desperately trying to get damage done. And Illuminati just says, 33 chariot archers, what are you going to do? Does he have ballistics? He's got ballistics as well. He's got so many armor upgrades. This is absolutely brutal from Chemo. From Illuminati in this one. Chemo is not dealing with this well at all. He does have a huge amount of Peltas, but it's just not working. Does he have any upgrades? He's got medium Peltas. This is working so well right now for Illuminati. Chemo still has ceasefire. He's still in front in terms of upgrades. He can get himself access to Atlanta, as we see the ceasefire coming down. He can get himself access to Atlanta, Hippolyta, and Jason, Theseus, to deal with those Phoenix. But at the moment, he's just continuing to try and push in and kill Illuminati, and that's allowed Illuminati to get all onto this map and do everything he needs to do. Again, when you're playing against the one town center, your role as the two town center player is to play defensive. You shouldn't be the one pushing. And this is why this is all going so poorly, as the Phoenix going to be coming through onto this position. Those Peltast are not going to be able to live here very long. Not only that, the Peltast are attacking the Phoenix. They're so good flying above those Peltast there as they're all getting taken out. This army composition is actually brutal at the moment. Funnily enough, I think the actual correct unit composition here for Chemo against Mass Chariots was not Prodromus as well, but Mass Hippias, as well as getting Spirited Charge. He would have been able to engage those Chariot Archers and take them out very, very easily, and maybe also mixing in a handful of Peltast, but that's not working out all too well right now as Illuminati's trades so good. He's going up for a third town center as well to boot. He's still just happily massing out those Chariot Archers. Actually, he's not building anything at the moment, but he is basically at full population, so he doesn't really need to. He's got a whole bunch of upgrades queued up, and in that moment, Chemo taps out, and Illuminati finds yet another victory with this brutal strategy. This is going to be something that Greek players, that Norse players, that Atlantean players, and even Egyptian players really have to go back to the drawing board and go, okay, there is this strategy that's very, very strong. How do I beat it? Where's the weakness? Well, to be completely honest, the weakness is here. This right here is the weakness. Just here. Bam. You need to have some units on this. You can't just, whenever your opponent's going for a fast mythic, you can't just let them get a gold mine. You need to have some units here, put pressure, really slow them down there. But on top of that, how do you beat Mass Chariot Archer? Mass Hippias. That's actually an answer. He's already got heavy Hippias. Get your Pierce upgrades. Get yourself 30 plus Hippias, and you're just going to come through and absolutely ruin this. Those Peltast, they're actually a good counter, but with the Phoenix being mixed in, you also need to have heroes out, and those heroes actually get sniped down really quickly. So it's kind of challenging to make the Peltast work when the Phoenix are out. If there's no Phoenix here, those Peltast would be doing very, very nicely. So the answer now is, okay, my opponent's got Phoenix, my opponent's got Chariot Archers. I've just got to make Mass Hippias and force my opponent to start making Camel Riders. And once the Camel Riders come in, now I can mix in Prodromus or Hoplites, and I can start mixing in Peltast as well, and we get into a more of a nice unit composition here. But Chemo doesn't figure it out in this game, and Illuminati finds the dub. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.